Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we want to create our Django project. Actually, in this project, we want to at the first we want to create a Django, just simple Django template, and then we want to push our Django template to our GitHub, and then we want to configure our YAML file and create our runner action from GitHub to our DigitalOcean server, and from server we want to create our Docker file, and we want to configure our Nginx and Unicore runner for our Django project. And at the end we want to deploy our website and configure our domain name with Namecheap website. Okay, now let's just start. At the first I want to create my first Django project. From here go to my dev folder. Now it's depend to you. Actually, maybe I name my project, so our project Django Django Pro maybe, or Django Action, something like that. Okay, now I go to our Django Action folder. From here I want to install our first virtual environment, and in my case at this time I have Windows. I just want to say Python -m v and I name it our virtual environment v. Okay, great. Now take your time, and after create our virtual environment, I want to open my Visual Studio Code. Okay, now from here at the first I want to connect to my virtual environment, and if you have a Windows, just the name of virtual environment, script, and active. Okay, great. Now we need to install some dependency. In this tutorial, actually, or in Django project, where our virtual environment is a package manager that we can install our dependency around all config file, and pip list. I can see all packages, and as you can see at this time as a default we have pip and setup tools. Now I want to install sorry, pip install Django. Okay, again maybe take your time. Now I can see our dependency. As you can see, Django is installed successfully. Okay, now let's start to create our first start project. Django admin start project. The start project is the main project that you can install our config, or yes, actually you can define or edit your website config, or you can do anything about your website. As a default, as you will, yeah, you can take it. In my case, I just want to name it main, because it's my main project or it's my main app, or you can just do something like app or something or anything else, just main. Now as you can see, I create a main folder, but and under main I have other main is all the config file like URL, setting, and something else. Actually, I didn't want to do something like that, because if I want to run on my project, every time I must to call this manage pay, and I must to do something like that. Python main, and then main, and then from main manage.pay. As you can see, we have subfolder here or subdirectory. We can do something else. I just want to delete it, and I create a start project again, but then now and this time I want to add dot, and as you can see, the manage.pay is out of our main directory, and for next time I can just call directly my manage.pay. Actually, it's fast to use. And now let's start our project. I want to try Python manage.pay run server. Okay, as you can see, we are allowed to call our website. Okay, great. This is our first template website. This is a main project, main admin projects website. And I want to do something else. I want to create just simple app that, in our case, I want to stop it here. And now I type again Python, and in this time manage.pay, and then start app. And from start app, we want to create an app. I name it I don't know, maybe start. That's include our index, in this tutorial, index or contact us HTML file. Okay, or yes, start. Actually, it's good. Okay, now as we can see here, we have a start app, and is a little like our main directory, main admin app, or main start project, without setting or URLs and VSGI file. Okay, now let's do configure our file. And the first, from startup, here I just want to, or at the first I want to configure our static file on folders for our local project. From setting, and now here I type start or static root, and then from here where's path join the name or actually it's the path or and the name of our admin static file. It's just include our static files, and that must to be deploy. In this case I just want to say under base directory, and the path must to be just here in under root, and then name it static. Okay, now we want to define our local static file. For our local static file I write static files directory. Okay, must to be os path dot join. Now from base again directory, and now I want to define the path. Actually, as you can see, the path and the name of our local static file and folder. It must be, I want to create a static folder under main and under main project here, and I just want to name it static. Okay, now from here we must to create our first static folder, and as you know it's not created automatically because it's our local static file and folders, and I just want to create a new folder static, and under static maybe we need our CSS folder or JavaScript folder, maybe icons or new folders, fonts. It's depend to your project actually. And now let's create our global or deploy static file. Here actually I want to create this static file, and if we create our static file we must to have something here under create a style dot css, because when we collect static collect static, we cannot see all the folder here because it's empty here. At the first we must to create some file. From here maybe I say p color must to have color something like that just for test. And now okay, from it's the same for other file and folders too. Now let's just start Python manage.py collect static. Okay, as you can see it created 131 static files under root. From here is created automatically. This folder is the folder that we created from here, and from here if we want to have other folders we must to create a file at the first and then create it automatically for our deploy or global static file. And now this is our static files for Django project. We don't At this time we don't want to define or change anything here. Now it's great, we have our static files and folders. Now let's to start to run our before we yes, we can just start from here, our start. As you can see, in this time we don't have any URL address, URL files, Python files. I just want to create a new files, URLs that pay, and from here I just want to create some path files. Okay, now I can just write from Django that URLs I want to import path, and from that import I want to call views, and URL patterns must to be an array, and from here path, as you can see at the first need a path address, must be something like that, views that index is the name of our method that must to run our index.html file, and from name I want to call index. I name it index. Okay, now great, let's start from view. From here I just want to create my first method to call our website, to call our HTML file. From here I just create a div. The name of method actually must to be okay. The name of method must be like the name of we are writing here, def index, and from request here I just want to say call our website, or I can render our index.html website. For that I just can say return render what we want to render, our request, and I define a start and then index.html. As you can see, at this time we don't have any folder and index file. For that we must create our template. Let's create a template. From here I create a folder, templates, I name it templates, and we must configure this templates folder too. From main under setting, from here we can just say from now I can just say we want to path our path join base directory and then must to be some things like that. I think the name of template folder no, here the name of our template folder. Templates, this our folder. Okay, great. Now I close it, and as I said here in our static view, we need under templates, we need a start folder. Is the name, is the select name of our app. Actually, it's not good IDE to have a same name, but in this case I name it start, and under start I want to create a index.html and maybe contact.html. Before we start and run our project, we must to do something else. As you can see, we created our first app, and I name it start. Under app, you can see a start config. I copy this config file, and under main setting, from here I can just say start, the name of our app, and then dot app dot our config file. And now it's good. I'm not sure, maybe, sorry, I think it's apps. Okay, now it's better. Okay, let's continue, and I close it, and from here I just want to create another path, and I name it maybe something else. Our path must be from here must be contact, and I change it to contact. And now under view we need this contact method. That means I create a new method, I name it contact, and I need this contact.html too. Okay, great. And now we have everything. I just want to create my index. Before we edit our index.html, we must define our URL file, URL app to, oh sorry, I forgot to need a call. I must to add our URL path to main URL path. I create the same path, and I say without any path I want to call my start app, and from here I just want to say here include must to be include, so from here path and include, I don't need it anymore, and then the name of our app start, and then URLs. Now as you can see here we have our URLs, and our project, the name of our project is start. What's wrong here? Import wrong. So I think I know what's happened. Maybe here we need a double quotation. Oh, yes, it's better. Great. Okay, now we have our URLs too. Now let's continue from here. and from start view start index that under template start app or by app start, and from index I just want to create a new file, HTML file, and I say from index. Now let's check it. Okay, I just want to write Python manage.py run server. We have an error, no model pages. Why pages? Okay, startup, no model, startup. Okay, now it's interesting. Okay, no app is start app. I don't know. Maybe app, maybe URLs. Start. Why is start app? I cannot understand it. No, it's not working correctly. Okay, great. Now we run our first Django project. As you can see, we have hello from our index, and I just want to create another path from contact, and now I create a new contact file h1, for example, hello from contact. It's not find it because we can contact, and from view start contact. What's wrong here? It's pretty admin. We define our startup here, and from start contact, and from here we have our contact. It's much to work it. Maybe we don't need something like that. Okay, great. Now we have our contact file 2. We have our setting config. We create our first Django app. We create our static file. We create our template file. Now let's start. Now I want to push our project to GitHub, and then we can create our GitHub runner and GitHub action config file. If you like this video, like it, and let's go.